hasn't played any of his own songs yet.
Thank you. I'm gonna, 15 days sure seemed a lot longer. 15 months into it, and during I sit around my kitchen a lot, remembering to forgetting things that I needed to remember, and forgetting a lot of stuff. And then remembering things from time to time, like this song was one I wrote a long time ago. And I thought, more than once, sitting in the kitchen, just staring at the floor, kind of wondering when things were going to ever kind of get back to living life. And yeah, and I would, well, you know what, everybody, we need to be safe. Everybody needs to be smart and sing and act like, like we know what we're doing. But we do need to get back to living life, because it might not be a life left to go back to live it if we don't. Having said all that, I'm sitting there playing along and kind of wondering about stuff and thinking about this song and thinking, man, that song was almost a premonition. I wrote it a lot of years before I ever had a hint of a record deal. I wrote this, and it has to do with, well, the chorus at the time, I didn't know why I wrote it. Now, like I said, that was the premonition for me, the chorus of the song. But the verses, they deal with stuff I was going through at the time. I used to drive air freight for a day job, make a living, and play clubs at night. And I'd get hired, and a few weeks in, get fired, because they didn't really mean it. I guess they wanted hard country. We would get there and start playing all the stuff I played, which was Merle. I'd play a lot of Bill Monroe and things like that. And it was during that kind of moment during the urban cowboy phase where everything wanted to be a country club, but they didn't mean it. And I'd get in there, I'd get hired, and get fired. And some nights, there were a couple times where the band would show up to come into the club, and I'd be carrying my PA cabinets back out to my old Camino load, and they go, what are you doing? I said, well, he's had a change of heart. We don't need to sit up tonight. So I would, and I had a music store that I used to go buy gear at. It's called Betnam Music. And there was an old guy, sweet guy named Saul Betnam that ran that. And one of his deals with musicians was he had a pawn license and everything else. They had a great music store. And he said, look, if you buy this stuff from him, number one, if you were going to buy anything from him, if you wanted to look at a guitar, you had to let Saul come out. He was a saxophone player. And, his better days of sax playing had passed him by, but Saul insisted you play something with him on the sax. So I'd try and do something that made sense on sax. Bill Monroe didn't make much sense on sax, but we played Saul, and I'd play some Bill Monroe now and then. He'd say, what's that you're playing? And hillbilly stuff. He said, I like it. And Saul had this deal. He's a good-hearted guy. He said, look, if you buy this stuff from me, he said, you get where you don't think you need it or you're in trouble, because he knew the life of musicians, especially aspiring, struggling musicians. He said, just bring it back. He said, I'll take it back from you, give you a ticket, and let you come back. You can get it in 2 or 3 months if you got more gigs. And I would do that. I'd take it back to Saul, and I was sitting there thinking about that. Now, as far as I know, we didn't have to sell any of my gear currently last year, did we? Where's Scott tonight? Anyway, no, I don't think there's. No, we've got everything as far as I know that I had when we started 2020. But Saul was that guy, and I would sit there and I thought, wait a minute, what am I feeling soggy and sorry for myself about in the summer, by the way, and I don't. All of us here tonight should not. We survived this. A lot of people did not, unfortunately did not. People think the medical community has done wonders getting ahead of this, and we will get ahead of it, and everybody will survive it, I think. Anyway, I'd look across that kitchen and see that pretty wife holding that little cute baby, and I'd think, now I know why I married you and why I wrote the chorus to this all those years ago. Goes like back and everything I own. from a little man whose name's Stone and a lot of money to belong. I drive a beat up 67 Chevrolet with a torn up seat, folks, but just by way of reference, just so. Not everything in every song is literal. There are moments like Saul started that verse, but it was not a 67. It was a 1970, but 67 just rhymes better. I drive a beat up 67 Chevrolet with a torn up seat, open brand new hole in my back and never did. I got a letter from the folks over at Bell, just to let me know for my next phone call I can walk outside. Hey, I know my life seems a mess, not everything seems to go pretty well. 'Cause I've got you, see me through. Oh, I've got you, I've got you. Yeah, I've got you, so keep it safe. So let's do what I want to do. It don't matter how long, but I've got you. Breathing down my neck for rent. Oh, he don't give a damn about my kids or where the money was spent. And after all those years of paying he can do, it sure didn't seem to count so much when I got all the way off through. I got a note from the man who had the fight. The next thing else, I guess I might walk the going in my time. Hey, I know I might seem near dead, honey, I think I might be too well. 'Cause I've got you, see me through. Oh, I've got you, to chase my blues. I've got you. So let's do what I want to. It don't matter how long, I've got you. Yeah, let's go right here too. It don't matter how long.